Welcome back for another episode, guys. Sorry I'm a little late tonight, but I had to take care of some other stuff. So tonight I want to try to make this quick. I really want to focus on this one incident because I think it may be relevant tomorrow in the LAPD commission meeting. Um, it involves the shooting that happened last month at a hotel in the Valley in Los Angeles, where a woman called the police asking for help, claiming that she was being kidnapped and held against her will, and that she was in distress and she needed help. And when the police came there, as they do all too often, they escalated the situation, and the woman who needed help ended up getting shot and later succumbed to her injuries. So, what I want to do is I want to just start it off by showing you hearing the 911 call from the woman herself, and then take it step by step after that, from how the police handled the situation when they got there, to how the supervisor acted, to the procedures that they used, and so on. So let's get this started. Let me pull up the video right here. Actually, let me rewind it a little bit. Let's go right to the beginning of the 911 call.
2025 at around 10:30 a.m. Foothill Patrol Division officers responded to a radio call for a possible kidnap suspect at a motel in the 10,300 block of San Fernando Road. The caller reported that she was being forced to stay at the location against her will. Here is the 911 call and corresponding radio broadcast.
Por favor. Sí, por favor.
Señora, ¿dónde está? ¿Cuál es su emergencia?
Señorita, eso es aquí cerca de policía. Este es en un motel. Lo que pasa es que este señor que está aquí al lado mío, no le tiene confianza al señor.
¿Cuál es el domicilio?
Ya.
¿Cuál es el domicilio?
10 San Fernando.
10.
Ajá. 10 San Fernando. No.
Dígamelo número por número, un número a la vez.
10.
No, 10.
Now, as you can see, the woman's
10
struggling. She's not in a good state.
San Fernando Road.
Okay, ¿y qué es lo usted está viviendo con estas personas allí?
Sí, lo que pasa es que el señor y el otro, pues ya lo cosas, con un dinero, pues él me dijo que hasta que yo lo cansara, pues entonces que me dé mi dinero y yo me voy, porque yo tengo otra penitencia con la policía. Yo no me estoy huyendo y usted me puede incluso ayudar para guiarme, porque tengo que irme a la policía.
See, I gotta tell you
¿Cómo se
something.
llama?
As I hear this, I just wonder, is she being trafficked? Right? She's in a hotel room and it's talking about some sort of conflict over money, and that she's being held against her will. That's what the call was for. So let's listen on, see what happens.
Vale.
¿Y tú estás en qué cuarto dice que estás tú? ¿En el 1, 2? Okay. Y cuando dices que te están cobrando ¿por qué?
That's what they're charging for.
¿Porque él trae hombres al cuarto?
Sí, yo traigo a una, si usted llega también me lo lleva a cobrar. Yo tengo anotado aquí en mi lista de cuadernos, señorita, se lo juro. No tengo por qué mentirle, Señor Jesucristo. Yo
It's hard for me to jump to conclusions,
¿Te están
but
forzando a hacer eso? Linda, ¿te están forzando a hacer esto?
are they forcing you to do this?
Sí,
Yes.
es obligatorio,
He says
no me
yes.
botan de aquí. Y yo tengo dormir.
She says she's being forced to do this. She's in the hotel room, and I can only imagine what that means.
Y yo te voy a agarrar ayuda, señora, ¿ok? No cuelgues.
Any footage in a possible kidnap suspect, 103 San Fernando Road at the. There's no suspect descriptions. Code to incident 1454 1643.
That call.
So it's important to note that they called it in, or the dispatch. It was dispatched as a kidnapping suspect, and as you can hear on a phone call, she was asked repeatedly, "Are they forcing you to do this?" And she said yes. Right. So she is a victim, and obviously she's not in a good state right now. So let's skip forward to when they made contact with her.
The angle of the camera prohibits viewers from seeing everything the officer saw and experienced. Upon activation, both audio and video will turn on.
Let me stop it real
However,
quick. Let me stop it real
body-worn video.
So they talk about how the body-worn video, the way it's positioned, you can't get all angles with it. They're telling you that right there. It's all the more reason why it's important to get a third-party angle when you can. That means you and I filming a police interaction. All right, but I digress.
Video cameras have a buffer of video without audio from the previous 2 minutes prior to activation. This feature is designed to capture incidents that occur suddenly, where an officer doesn't immediately activate the camera. Here is body-worn video from the officers involved in this incident.
She doesn't remember how she ended up over here.
Hey,
You check her head?
hey, that just, and she said she is danger to self.
Huh?
Danger to self.
So it's important right there. So the officer said that she said that she was a danger to herself. I won't get into why that's so important right now, but just keep that in mind, because that should have been a warning right there on how to handle this. Okay.
Hey, sit down.
Siéntate.
Siéntate.
Dijiste que te golpeaban la cabeza, ¿verdad?
Hey, sit-
¿Dónde te pegaron?
Pero no me pongo nada
¿Dónde te
fuerte en la
pegaron?
cabeza.
¿Dónde te pegaron?
Revísemela, pero no me pongo nada.
No, nomás te vas a revisar. ¿Dónde te pegaron?
Revísemela, pues.
Where?
¿Dónde te pegaron?
Revísemela. Pero no me pongo nada fuerte,
I'm only.
¿ok? Ok, yo tengo derecho a ver que no me pongan nada, ¿ok? Alcen las manos ustedes, todos.
Nomás te estamos revisando.
Sí,
es todo.
pero tienen derecho a alzar las manos, que no me pongan máquinas ni nada, ¿ok?
Nomás te queremos revisar si estás golpeada.
Am I allowed to touch? She's gonna freak
Tengo
out.
muchas canas.
Can I touch your head?
¿Dónde te golpearon?
Revísenla, pues, para eso son investigadores ustedes.
Un momento, okay?
¿Dónde te
Ok.
golpearon?
Bien, bien. Point where you got hit. Tell her.
Apunta dónde te golpearon.
Revisen, pues.
Dijiste que te golpearon con una botella. ¿Dónde?
Hey,
Con muchos golpes me dieron en la cabeza.
¿Dónde? ¿Qué parte de la cabeza?
En toda la cabeza, señor. O sea, mire, me siento y boto la sangre, entonces.
can I feel your head?
Ok, bajan la cabeza.
I don't see any redness.
Good. Bumps.
And there's a mole.
It'll just be-
Look up. Look up. Hey,
Levanta la cabeza.
are those just her eyebrows, or is that a...
Look at the side of the head. Push the area she pointed to the side of the head.
I mean, I don't see any like redness or cuts, but if you get hit in the head with a bottle, you're gonna have some type of mark. I mean, the head naturally is rigid. You know what I mean?
The wallet. She has her.
So she told the EBO that she's thinking about killing herself.
Oh, hear that right there?
Anything to. She got hit.
Hear that right there? So she said that she had thought about killing herself. That's right there. That should have triggered certain things that would happen immediately, but instead the police decided to do differently. Let's continue.
Did she tell you that she wants to kill herself?
Dijiste que te quieres morir.
Take her home, bro.
¿Y quiere ver lo que me golpea, Carlos? ¿Qué?
Yeah, she wants to-
¿Quiere que me estudie para que vea lo que me golpeó?
She wants to die or do it herself.
¿Cómo te quieres morir? Dijiste, ¿cómo te quieres morir?
Pues ya de tantos países que vine, necesito pagar lo que debo, que eso no es mi dinero.
Dijiste que te querías morir. ¿Cómo te quieres morir?
Debo saber cómo.
¿Cómo lo quieres hacer?
No sienten mis guantes en mi mesa, por favor. Porque aquí me cobran.
Te estoy preguntando algo. Dijiste que te quieres morir. ¿Cómo lo quieres hacer?
A suicidarme.
¿Cómo?
Yo no sabré cómo.
¿Cómo?
No siento sus guantes, por favor, hay nada.
¿Cómo te
All right, so here's a supervisor. He's a real condescending pile of crap.
Right? That's business.
¿Por qué no me revisan todo el golpe que tengo acá en la espalda?
Un momento, ¿ok? Un momento.
Sí, pero no me topes. No me topes. ¿Ok?
Cálmate.
No me topes.
Hey, cálmate.
Golpéame.
I'm the supervisor here. Relax.
Ya, yo me le...
I gotta tell you, whenever you want somebody to calm down, the best thing you should do is just yell at them, because that really calms people down when they're being yelled at, especially when they want to be heard and you feel like you're lecturing them. But let's continue.
Bye. No me topes. Si no me van a ayudar, no me
She's
topes.
claiming business dispute technically. Right?
Business dispute for the room.
For the room.
Okay.
Yeah. And then supposedly they own her some money
No me
from
pueden
pyramid
ayudar,
scheme,
no me topes.
savings type of deal.
Tell her to sit down and relax over here.
Then she's claiming, when we showed up, she's like, oh, I'm bleeding from the anus.
Señora.
So she's saying that she had been essayed on top of it.
Señora. Cálmate.
Ojalá tus hijos les también faltan más ustedes. No.
Back and forth.
Señora.
Hey,
Cálmate. What is she saying, dude?
leave me alone.
Váyanse ustedes,
We'll put her in
Just,
cuffs. if that's okay.
señora, cálmate. Okay, por favor. Just tell her to calm down. Just relax.
When somebody's in the middle of a crisis, I think the last thing they need are a bunch of officers approaching with the supervisors sort of being condescending and dismissive. Actually, that's not the right thing to do. What she needs right then is she needs help. She needs somebody to listen. She needs a clinician because she's in the middle of crisis. So let's continue. Let's see how they handled this.
No, si me ofrecieron ayuda, no quiero, gracias. Haz de ayudar a tu hijo, que lo necesita atención, no quiero. Ok, gracias. No quiero.
Back up a little
Dar a
bit.
tu hijo más que yo, ok.
Just back up over here.
Dale mi sacrificio a tu hijo, ok. No quiero.
Jacob,
No quiero.
just stay right there, and leave her alone. Don't talk to her.
Ojalá que Dios bendiga.
Yeah.
Y mira,
Telling us to get out of here.
día que no vas a vivir en paz. No vas a
She's
vivir
telling
en
us to
paz.
get out of here.
Si quieres echarme gas,
So,
échame.
tell me the rest of it.
Échame. Yo me muero, pero tú vives
according
en
to
paz,
her,
¿ok?
She was outside.
Yo me muero y me voy a morir.
Relax.
So she's got a knife to her own neck, right? So she's in crisis. She has a knife to her own neck. And once again, I don't know if there is a police response to this that could lead to a good outcome. She needs a clinician. She needs help. Let's look at what they did and we'll go over it afterwards. I'm going to stop it before the graphic part. I'm going to try to do it like a second beforehand.
Okay, hold on. You got DCO, you got less, okay?
Okay,
I'm gonna need you to be contact. Just contact.
Ve, hay cámaras, mira, ve.
Necesito. Ahorita te ayudamos.
Hay cámaras atrás de ti, mira, ve.
Sí, ok,
Hay
excelente.
cámaras.
What is she saying?
No
No.
vale la pena.
Just back up a little bit. We're gonna leave her space in the. David, back up. Just slowly.
Backing up is
Just
the
gotta
right thing
hold
to do.
there. If we can, let's have.
No, no. Tranquila.
You have less lethal?
Te vamos a ayudar.
Because you're going to be lethal, right? I'm going to need you to hold on to the door. Just shut it.
Te vamos a ayudar.
Forward, okay?
Te vamos a ayudar. Pero no te vamos a ayudar así.
Let's see the LAPD's freeze frame. So you can see she pulled out a knife and she held it to her own neck. She's at that point, she's a threat to herself. But let's keep going.
Okay. ¿Quieres tu dinero?
No quiero nada.
Te vas a hacer con el dinero.
¿Qué se los pagan ustedes porque yo amo a sus hijos?
Okay.
Yo vengo de otros países, vengo del Ecuador, por aquí no quiero nada.
No.
Puedo hacerlo ustedes.
Bota el
Gracias,
cuchillo.
gracias.
Okay, bota el cuchillo.
No, no quiero nada.
Bota el cuchillo.
No.
Bota el cuchillo.
No. So she walked about another step forward with the knife to her neck. And that's when this guy right here, Sanchez, Jacob Sanchez, fired and shot her. Now, I want to go back because the supervisor gave clear orders on how this should be handled. Let me go back to right here. So actually, let's go back a little further. Let's start at the mistakes that are being made. Okay. Now, in my personal opinion, right? Or not just my personal opinion, LAPD policy, at least the LAPD policy under the last police chief, they're supposed to back out of the apartment or the hotel room and call for what's called a SMART team, an MEU unit, a mental evaluation unit. And what that is, it teams up a clinician with a cop who usually plain clothes, so you don't have the stormtrooper look. And you let the clinician take the lead. This person, again, when somebody's in crisis like that, there's not a police response that can help her. She needs a doctor, potentially medication. Additionally, she needs somebody to listen to her. It seems like, like I said, she's in crisis, but she's also making claims, like I said, that sound a lot like trafficking. And she said, had been essayed too on top of it. And I don't know if they needed a bunch of condescending dudes standing around. I don't know if that was ever going to lead to a good outcome. But again, the supervisor tells everybody to back up to the doorway. And if she comes forward, close the door. Got that? If she comes forward, close the door, because then she's isolated. Okay. And she can't do any harm to you. She could do harm to herself, but can't do any harm to you. If she comes forward, close the door. Actually, let's go even before that. So then there's LAPD policy. I talked to an officer about this tonight. Let me not say an officer, an LAPD source tonight who gave me their interpretation of what happened and the policies that were broken. First off, the minute that somebody says that they have been thinking about hurting themselves, according to the officer, LAPD policy, they were supposed to put her in handcuffs so that she could not do any harm to herself. That's their policy. It's their policy. Instead, they did not put her in handcuffs. And then she got up and she wandered and she went and got a knife. Usually they try to prevent. Listen, I was literally on FaceTiming a call with somebody who was going through mental health crisis a couple weeks ago and walking them through the process because the police were making contact and they didn't know what to do. They were freaked out and we walked through it. And they're very careful. They were very careful to make sure that the person didn't have their hands in the pockets, didn't try to retrieve anything from another area or whatever, and then put them in handcuffs. Okay. The minute that she mentioned that she was thought about hurting herself, according to the officer, she was supposed to be put in handcuffs. And that was once the body cam that they were showing here at the beginning of the interaction, the one officer said that, yes, she thought about hurting herself. What's going on?
¿Dónde te pegaron?
Pero no me pongan nada
¿Dónde
fuerte
te
en la
pegaron?
cabeza.
¿Dónde te pegaron?
Revísenmela, pero no me pongan nada.
No, nomás vamos a revisar. ¿Dónde te pegaron?
Revísenmela, pues.
¿Dónde te pegaron?
Revísenmela. Tengo muchas casas.
Apunta dónde te golpearon.
Siento y...
Another thing, right? If she's saying that she's injured, right? Saying that she's been hit over the head, why didn't you ask for? You should have called for an ambulance. Like you guys aren't paramedics. You guys are gonna sit there and like go over and diagnose her on the scene. Let the paramedics come and let them decide if she's injured or not.
Can I feel your head?
Look at the side of the head.
You get hit in the head with a bottle, you're gonna have some type of.
So he's just doubting it.
Wants to kill herself.
This is
The wallet. She has her.
So she told the EBO that she's thinking about killing herself.
Right there. He said it again. She told the EBO that she thought she's been thinking about harming herself. You think, LAPD policy, their policy said they're supposed to immediately prevent her from doing any harm to herself. They didn't do that.
Did she say anything to?
She got
to him?
Did she tell you that she wants to kill herself?
Let's go a little further forward.
The supervisor here. Relax.
Like I said, yelling at somebody to relax when they're worked up.
Down and relax over. Señora.
Hold on.
No, yo, okay?
Just back up over here.
Back up over here.
Okay? No quiero.
Jacob.
No quiero.
No, Jacob.
Stay right there and leave her alone. Don't talk to her.
Ojalá que Dios bendiga. Y mira,
Telling us to get out of here.
Tía, que no vas a vivir en paz. No vas a
She's
vivir
telling
en
us to
paz.
get out of here.
Si quieres hacerme gas,
So,
échame.
tell me the rest of the
Échame. Yo me muero, pero tú vives
according
en
to
paz,
her,
¿ok?
She was outside.
Yo me muero y me voy a morir.
Hey,
Relax. Okay, hold on. You got DCO.
So DCO is a designated cover officer. So he's telling Jacob that he's the DCO. He's the one with the lethal munitions. And the reason why you designate them, that one person, it's to prevent all the contagious fire. This way, if they're shooting, one person's responsible for it. So he's designated DCO, and then another person is designated as using less lethals.
Got DCO, you got less, okay?
okay,
I'm
yeah.
gonna need you to be contact. You just contact.
Necesito. Ahorita te ayudamos.
Hay cámaras atrás de ti, mira, ve.
Ok,
Hay
excelente.
cámaras.
What is she saying?
Hay cámaras.
No.
No vale la pena.
Just back up a little bit. We're gonna leave her space in that. David, back up.
Listen closely. Listen closely.
Just slowly. Just kind of hold right there. If we can, let's have.
No. Tranquila.
You have less
Te
lethal.
vamos a ayudar.
Because you're gonna be lethal, right? I'm gonna need you to hold on to the door. Just shut it.
Te vamos a ayudar.
Forward, okay?
You heard what he said there? He said, I'm going to need you to hold the door and just shut it if she comes forward. So if she comes forward, Jacob, shut the door. But
Te
Jacob
vamos a ayudar.
chose to
Pero
do
no te vamos a
differently.
ayudar así.
Remember he said, if she comes forward, close the door.
Te vamos a hacer con el dinero. Ok.
Yo vengo de otros países, vengo del Ecuador, por aquí no quiero nada.
No.
Pónganselos ustedes,
Bota el
gracias,
cuchillo.
gracias.
Ok, bota el cuchillo.
No quiero nada.
Bota el cuchillo.
No.
Bota el cuchillo.
Hey.
No.
Right, literally a half second from there, she gets shot. She got the knife to her neck, and she gets shot. So, again, there are a number of troubling things here. First off, obviously, he didn't listen to what the supervisor told him to do. Okay. He didn't close the door and said he chose to shoot. But more importantly, why wasn't a SMART team requested and dispatched? Actually, in the LAPD commission meeting, they asked about that. Actually, I'll start working on pulling that up. But they asked the chief about that. Why didn't you have a SMART team, a medical evaluation unit, come have it dispatched? And he really didn't have an answer for that. I can tell you why. Because I've CPRA'd information on this a couple years ago. I think back in like 2019, we had a total of 21 SMART teams, 21 citywide. So that's 21 total. During the course of the shift, you may have 3 citywide, and you may have during the course of a shift, maybe even 1 or 2 citywide. So you're talking about from San Pedro all the way up to the valley, to the city, all the way to the west side. Have 1 or 2 SMART teams. So if they're stuck in traffic, how long does it take for a SMART team to get to the scene? What they should have done is they should have backed out of that hotel room, requested a SMART team, but that SMART team may take 45 minutes to an hour. We don't have enough SMART teams, but that was even back then. We had 21. Then I did some CPRing, and by 2021, they had been decreased from 21 SMART teams down to 13, either 13 or 14. Can't remember the exact number, but we're talking about a third of them decreased. At the same time, the numbers of calls for their service had increased year over year. We increased them. We increased the number of calls, but we decreased the number of SMART teams. And that's, to me, that's quite outrageous. Okay. Because if you look at most police shootings, I can't say most, you look at a large chunk of the police shootings here in LA, it involves somebody going through a mental health crisis who has an edged weapon, a knife, a fork, whatever. Oftentimes threatening to do harm to themselves. And here was this woman threatening to do harm to herself. And the LAPD is like, no, we got this for you. We'll take care of it for you. And shot her. Again, she called the police asking for help, seemingly saying that she was being trafficked, in distress. And when the police came, they were dismissive. They were condescending. And again, even when there's a language barrier, there's a way you can handle with your body language. People can communicate. And their communication, the vibes what she was getting is, oh, they're not taking me seriously. I'm telling you that I'm a victim, that I had been sexually assaulted, and you're not taking me seriously. And in that frustration, in that agitated state, she said, I'm going to grab this knife. You're going to take me seriously. And instead of, like I said, they didn't call for MEU. I didn't hear anything about an MEU. But it doesn't just stop there, right? So another annoying part of it is after they shoot her, and this is policy related. It's a policy that they have, or I don't even know if it's actually true policy. It's just, at this point, it's just standard procedure of the sequence of events that they go through after they shoot somebody, right? They don't just say, you know what, I shot somebody, let me get on the radio, let me get an ambulance. We need an ambulance immediately. No, they prioritize that officer needs help. After the officer shot the lady and she went and immediately laid on her bed. After she'd been shot, they asked for help. The dispatcher put a call out for help for the officer, requested a helicopter, an air unit to come to the scene. An officer gets on the radio and says he's going there. He's leaving the station, going there for the officer needs help call, before they actually request an ambulance for the woman. It's kind of crazy, right? Let me play this for you. It's a minute long recording. I went back and found the recording of the actual the radio traffic. Let me play this for you. All right, I'm gonna start at the beginning.
120 also needs shots fired.
All right, so the shots fired call came out. Officer, he needs help. Shots fired.
Yes, officer needs help. 103A1 San Fernando Road. Officer needs help. 103A1 San Fernando Road. Shots fired. Any air unit come in on foothill frequency.
Asking for an air unit, a helicopter. Just naturally, just ask for a helicopter. We need a helicopter there right now. Actually, we did need a helicopter right there right now. They need an ambulance. But listen to
X26, you can send me the help call from the station. On San Fernando.
They're leaving the station. But let's wait until they hear an ambulance being requested.
Marker location. Of age, conscious and breathing, suffering from a gunshot wound.
Conscious and breathing. Did you hear an RA call there? I mean, it sounds like it didn't capture part of the conversation right before that, but that, that's the sequence of events that you go through after a shooting. Officer calls for help automatically. Then they send out an air unit because for some reason we have to flex one of our 18 helicopters in that situation before they request a helicopter, before they request an RA or an ambulance. But anyway, yeah, she ended up succumbing to her injuries, and it's a shame and it's sad. And the processes failed her. Now, again, she needed an MEU unit, and each year the number of units we have decrease. They decrease year over year, even though they're highly effective. This is what they're for. This is the point of, this is why we created these smart teams, and we just don't have enough of them. We don't have enough of them for a number of reasons. First off, listen, the main reason we don't have enough of them is we don't have enough clinicians, right? And that actually has to be handled on a county level. So you're teaming up an LAPD officer who's a city employee with a clinician that's handled by the Department of Health, which is on the county level. So you need that coordination between both. But then you also need the funding for it. And we're not properly funding that position for that clinician. Because listen, at the end of the day, this clinician, let's say there's, a psychiatrist, whatever, they could sit at home just doing telemedicine visits and make a good amount of money. So if we're going to shortchange how much we pay, we want these people to be out there on patrol at 2:00 in the morning, sticking their heads inside of tents and stuff. We should pay them a little bit more, right? We should make sure that make it worth their while. And so these are people who deserve to be paid a good amount of money. We need to hire a good amount of these people. We don't need to have in the city of LA have 2 or 3 MEU units on duty during the course of a shift. We need to have citywide during the course of the shift, 10, 15 citywide. Hollywood needs at least one dedicated at all times. All right. That should be our priorities. And again, listen, there's not a police fix to somebody who has a mental health crisis. They need a clinician. The only thing the police can do is sort of shuffle them around, potentially arrest them. But at the end of the day, 4%, 5% of people are responsible for about half of our 911 calls because they're usually in mental health crisis. So they smash a window, cops come and yell at them or whatever, or maybe they lock them up for a day and they get them back out. But the mental health issue continues. Maybe we should focus on, taking care of that, making that a priority. Right? Anyway, let's actually, now that we're here, I was only planning on showing that one video, but while we're here, let's pull up another one because there was an incident that happened, or they just released a video on it the other day. And then again, it dealt with somebody in mental health crisis. Let me pull this up. Give me 1 second. I think this is worth talking about. See here, LAPD website. Share it with you guys. So that was the one. This is the one I just showed you the other day. That was the most recent one. And then right before that, earlier this week, where is it at? Southwest. Let's look at this one. This is actually a really sad one too. Okay. This is a woman who is experiencing mental health crisis. And her own mother called the police, said that she was breaking the windows at her apartment and the windows to her apartment next door, that she has schizophrenia, and her own mother called for help. Actually, let me cue this up. Let me look at my notes here. What was the exact minute? Okay, let's start here.
Yes, she's still here. She stays next door.
Oh, she's a neighbor. Okay, gotcha. Okay. And
Neighbor
she's
talking
breaking
about breaking
each of our
windows.
black shirt. And what color?
I'm not sure if she went.
Let me see here. Let me go.
No? She's mental. Yeah. 39 Ursula Avenue.
Did you already call the police, ma'am?
Yes, I'm calling you guys right now.
Okay, what's your name, ma'am?
My name is, I'm the mother of Tiffany Rufus.
Okay.
Apartment 39 Ursula.
What do you, number two?
Yes, she said.
What's going on with your daughter, miss? What's happening?
Well, she just bust out somebody's window.
She
She
vandalized someone's window?
She's mental. Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. What is she
Yes, she's
diagnosed
mental.
with?
Yes. Huh?
What is your daughter diagnosed with?
Schizophrenic. Please,
Okay.
somebody. I thought I had everything under control.
Okay, just take a deep breath, honey, okay? 1 second.
So the mother's going through it, you know. She's saying that her daughter is schizophrenic. Her mother said she thought she had everything under control, but she's going through a crisis right now. And she's calling the police for help. She's asking for help. And let's put it this way, she's calling 911 for help. We sent the police. Let's see what happens next.
Your daughter's name is Tiffany?
Tiffany Rufus.
How old is she, hon?
September 8, 1987.
1987?
Please. Yeah, 1987. Please. Can you send somebody here, please?
Ma'am, what color shirt and pants is she wearing?
I haven't been up there, but I seen her today. She has black pants on. Yeah, black pants. I seen her only today.
Black pants.
That's my daughter. I'm a caregiver and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we already have a call generated for service, and you said she is in apartment number,
Number.
we have a call already.
Yes.
So the officers will get out there as soon as they can.
Okay, the last time they came out here, they didn't want to take her because it's like that she needs to come downstairs.
Okay.
But I need her.
Any Southwest unit, vandalism suspect are now 39 Ursula Avenue. Suspect is a neighbor, female black 30s, black shirt. No further description from PR's windows and other neighbors' windows with a baseball bat. Go to incident 3707 RD361.
So the mother felt frustrated because she called for help earlier, and I guess she didn't want to come downstairs, and so there was nothing they can do. And I don't know what the police are supposed to do in that incident. I don't really want them being involved with it if she hadn't actually committed a crime. But at the same time, like, what is a mother supposed to do when they're in that situation? How are they supposed to handle that situation where they see that their child spiraling in a mental health crisis? Who do you call? I saw somebody out in front one day. She was in her car completely having a mental health crisis. And I'm like, wow, she's going to drive away. So I called, I don't know what number it was, one of those numbers, 211 or something like that. And they basically said, yeah, the earliest we can get somebody out there is like a mental health person from the Department of Health is like in 24 hours. I'm like, 24 hours? Like, what the hell? Like, we need somebody right now. And so the mother is doing the best she can. She doesn't know what to do. She knows that she can't handle this on her own and she needs help. And so, yeah, I can understand her frustration.
The suspect was later identified as Tiffany Rufus. She quickly general perspective was that occurs.
All right, let's look at the police perspective, how they handle this.
Brittany, you're DCO now? Yeah. Okay. Sling this in the back. We're going to use our taser. Just put it on your back. Actually, we got taser for yeah. And then, who's making call? I am. With what? My partner. All right, if she tases, I'll be back. I'm out the door.
You do? Yeah, I have to get communication. Very well, sir. Very well. And how you communicate with me?
Okay, these are your trailers and
you can't communicate with me because I'm just
be
a
mindful,
regular
cross fire, don't shoot.
Thousands of them, but this location is not for you.
Is it literally? Yeah.
Tiffany, last chance.
I'm just going to go on the
Want to come step out?
Say some shit that's illiterate.
Tiffany, we're going to come in if you don't know.
So they said last chance to come outside. Somebody's going through a mental health crisis and saying last chance to come outside or else we're going to come inside your apartment, right? Now, again, I will say this again. I've seen this so many times. And LAPD policy seems to be that when somebody's in a mental health crisis and you have them inside of a unit and they're contained, you sit back and you call in an MEU unit. You sit back and you call in the right people. You don't go busting in an apartment and escalating, but they did. Listen closely again.
I'm trying to communicate with you. You can't communicate with me because I'm just a
mindful,
regular
cross fire, don't shoot.
Thousands of them, but this location is not for you.
Is it literally? Yeah.
Tiffany, last chance.
I'm just going to go on the
Want to come step out?
Last chance, she said.
Say some shit that's illiterate.
Tiffany, we're going to come in if you don't open the door. Can you open the door?
So they're going for the door. And so the lady starts banging on the door.
You know why? I'm tired of that.
So the officer went for the door, and so she starts banging on the door with, like, a grate to a stove.
I'm tired of you suffering and kissing this ass. I'm tired. My mother can't support me, but she'll call a criminal on me.
Tiffany.
She'll call a criminal on me.
Tiffany, we don't want to
She
hurt you.
is my mother.
Tiffany,
My mother and then my father. And the thing is, she cannot support me.
Tiffany, if you bang on that door when we're coming in, you're gonna get hurt.
You're gonna.
Tiffany, if you bang on
My
that
name
door,
is
you're
a
gonna get
pretty
hurt.
name.
So she said, if you bang on that door, we're gonna come in and you're going to get hurt. Why? But why? It seems that she's banging on the door every time they get close, right? And what kind of training do these cops do? I know the cop that shot right here, she's listed on the most recent roster as being a rookie, but it's 2 years outdated. So she's obviously not a rookie. She's a P2. She's a regular police officer, but she's a new police officer. She's only been on the force for a few years. And again, they're going to decide what should be done in a case when somebody's dealing with mental health issues. Again, the mother called and said she has schizophrenia. And their response is, we're going to escalate. We're going to come in. And who are you? Who are you? You're not a clinician. Anyway, let's continue. If you bang on the door, you're going to get hurt.
Hey, girl.
Tiffany, if you bang on that door when we're coming in, you're gonna get hurt. Tiffany, if you bang on
My
that
name
door,
is
you're
a
gonna get
pretty
hurt.
name, girl. A very pretty name, but it's not Tiffany. That motherfucker set me up. So like I said, you only 3 people. Stay away.
I can do it, but you got to get ready because I'm not
Yes, shoot me. Shoot me. So what you feel is a paramedic died. They dragged my son. Show me, because I'm not going to hit you.
She says,
I don't want you in here. But come on.
she said, shoot me. I'm not going to hit you.
I'm not going to hit you.
Let me pull that back. Let me rewind a little bit.
Show me.
It says here, shoot me because I'm not going to hit you. So it's like she's asking for them to shoot her. And they're like, yeah, okay, fine. We're going to come on inside.
Because I'm not going to hit you. I'll hit the door because I don't want you in here. But come on. We don't want to shoot you. You hurt me. You hurt me. You hurt me. You fucking hurt me. You fucking hurt me.
He's unlocking the door. The cop's unlocking the door.
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
They tase her. She was that's what she was banging on the door with. But there they were tasing her, right? They opened the door and immediately tased her.
You fucking hurt me. You fucking hurt me. You fucking hurt me. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
You hear taser. They're tasing her. Shots fired. I will say this. I'm not going to play much more, but they shot 2 times. Luckily, she did not get shot. They missed. They missed with both shots. I don't know where those bullets went. Who knows where those bullets went? And I'll be honest with you, it happens all too often with the LAPD. So many times they shoot and they never hit the person. But she did not get hit. You know, she's fine, I guess. I'm sure she was charged with assault with a deadly weapon because they always are. Anytime the cops shoot somebody, listen, the incident from before that I was showing you with the woman in a hotel room who called and asked for help because seems like she may have been being trafficked and sexually assaulted, holding a knife to her own neck, and a cop shot her, and she lived for a few days. And then she died. But before she died, the LAPD charged her with assault with a deadly weapon against an officer. When she was doing this to her own neck, they said that was an assault with a deadly weapon against an officer. It's kind of outrageous, right? You hold a knife to your neck, the cops kill you, but before you die, we're going to charge you assault with a deadly weapon against an officer. This, once again, the mother asked for help. And the police is like totally escalated. Again, she was inside of her apartment. You sit outside, you call in a mental health unit, and you wait. What do you guys care? You guys getting paid overtime all the time anyway. Who cares if you have to sit out there for an hour waiting for the MEU unit? Sit outside, you're unlocking the door. It's clearly she was escalating because she seemed way calmer until you kept on coming by her door, and then she would start banging and banging and banging. I don't get it. I don't get it. We pay these people a lot of money, and too much money because we don't have enough clinicians. We don't have the right people. You're not going to take both these incidents tonight. Here, let's pull them up. I already made a profile from the guy before for Jacob Sanchez. It's on my Film the Police account. Let's see here. There he is. Jacob Sanchez. You can find him by going to the officer profile tabs on Film the Police LA. Here he is. So you see, he first got paid in 2022. So this guy is young. He's a new cop, Jacob. And so you see, I made a profile for him. Of course, there are profiles for many other ones. Oh, Campos. While we're here, fuck it. Let's talk about something. Let's clown on a few cops while we're here. This guy right here, Campos. Because I don't feel like talking about any more shootings. This guy here, Campos. They were grilling him in the in the police union delegation meeting the other day. I know because I was told I was in communication with somebody who was inside the meeting. You guys didn't know that because it's not televised, or at least I don't think it is. This guy right here, he is, when it comes to the police union, he is a director. He's one of the directors. On top of it, he's also the treasurer of a union. So he handles their books. Let me pull up all the directors. Let's see. Each one. We're just ad-libbing as we go. Let me see here. Do they have the police directors listed on the website? Media. I don't think they do. Shit. No. Did they take it down? Mission statement, services, affiliations, events. Here, let me see something else. Give me a second, guys. Let's see if I can find it a different way. But anyway, they have 5 directors on the LAPD commission. I'm sorry, not the LAPD commission, the LAPPL, the police union. And Ralphie boy right here, he is one of them. But he's, like I said, he's also a treasurer. So they're in the meeting, and I had made a video about this guy. My guy, who's that cop on Twitter? You should follow him. I'm not joking when I say they're probably the best researcher in LA. They're dogged, and then what I do like is, there's a certain amount of, they're really good at sarcasm too. And like I said, dogged, but just like me, like to the point where we get petty with it too. You have to have a little bit of pettiness with it. But the stuff they dig up, I'm gonna be talking about stuff they dig up tomorrow at the LAPD commission meeting. They have on the agenda a bunch of, they're voting to whether to destroy a bunch of LAPD documents, because for some reason we got to destroy documents, right? You look at the warehouse this stuff is kept in, and they're like, oh, we don't want to run out of space. I look on the website, you got a fucking basketball court in the middle of the warehouse, and you're talking about you're running out of space. Like, it's so damn insulting. So anyway, we had disclosed about how Ralph Campos was being paid by the union. So he's not just the director and the treasurer, he controls their books, but then he has his own private security company, and he's getting paid $250,000 a year from the union to his own security company to provide security for the union. And so some union delegates were like, what the fuck is going on? How the hell are you going to self deal like this and give yourself this contract? You're making $250,000 off of us? Like, how is any of that right? Right? Because it doesn't seem right. You would think that they would have some sort of degree of separation in all of this. And what I found funny is the person that was in the meeting sent me a message and said, told me exactly what they were saying, what they were claiming. And the Robert Rico of the police union lawyer got up and said, no, this is not true. That Film the Police guy is a lying sack of shit. I mean, he didn't, I'm adding some stuff. But they said the document that I had been showing, proving that they had, that the union was paying his security company, they're claiming that document was fake. Fake. The document that I was showing was fake. So I was like, all right, man, I'll come with some receipts. So I was like, the document that I was showing is your own fucking document. This is their Form 990. They post this stuff on their own damn website. But here it is, and it says Green Knight Security, which Ralph Campos is part owner, was paid $250,000. Now, listen, the other owner, because it's co-owners of Green Knight Security, a security company, the other one is a fired cop who is convicted of a felony. I thought you're not supposed to associate with known felons, but he's got a fucking company with a guy, a cop who was driving around. It was like a drunken shooting spree with him and his friends down in Orange County and convicted of a fucking felony. And now you have a security company with him. Now I sustain a complaint against this dumbass because the security company also conducts private investigative work, and it is against LAPD policy for any officer to be associated with a private investigative company. But here is, this union director thought he could just get away with anything he wants to do, because you want to know why? Because the union and LAPD officers can get away with doing whatever the hell they want. So anyway, I know it's all random. I was brought up out of nowhere. That's what happened this week. What else happened this week? Tomorrow's the LAPD commission meeting. It should be interesting. If you guys don't know, there's a scandal that's going on with the recruiting office where there were people in the recruiting office, officers in the recruiting office were caught saying a bunch of racist and sexist shit. And the craziest thing is, none of these were white people. These were black people saying racist shit against black people. This is Latino people calling other Latinos wetbacks. Like, what the fuck is going on? What is wrong with the culture of your department, of the LAPD, that they talk like this? You wonder why they call me a black fool? That shit is just commonplace. The lieutenant who runs the place was like, if anybody ever heard what we say in here, we'll be in the LA Times. You want to know what today? They were in the LA Times with his quote. It's out of control. I'll be honest with you. It's just ridiculous. The LAPD is a fucking mess. But you know what's going to happen is we're going to have to give them even more of our budget. We're in budget crisis right now. Like Kenneth Mejia has said, we have brought in $130 million less than we had budgeted. We, meaning my favorite person, Karen Bass, and the city council. $130 million less than we had budgeted. But we overspent by $300 million. This city. I don't even know what to say. It's out of control. It's a mess. But the LAPD is not going to have any real accountability. I mean, Rasha Shields last week was praising the police chief because the police chief gave a stern warning. She said this is her words, a stern warning about cops and DUI and their DUIs. He sternly warned them, no more drunk driving. You know, those stern warnings. And that's about the only sort of accountability we have at this point. Because under Jim McDonald, things were bad under Michael Moore. Jim McDonald is worse. This guy is worse. But he's not going to win because he's also a dinosaur. I don't think he knows how to react quickly enough. I plan to run over his ass in the coming months. I got a lot of stuff planned. I don't think Michael Moore was better at this than Jim McDonald at the whole PR game. They don't know how to do it. I think over the next couple of months, and combined with the fact that we're going to have this budget debate starting next month with Karen Bass releasing her budget, we're going to see how much money she's going to ask to give the LAPD and how much accountability she is going to ask for in return. Here's how much: 0%. You want to know why? Because she wants the endorsement of the police union, and they're going to give it to her. They are the only people that defended her during the wildfires. The only people. Everybody else was like, "No, I want nothing to do with her. She's fucked up. She's a fucking idiot." And LAPD union is like, "No, we're behind you 100%, Karen Bass," because she just gave them a whole bag. She gave them all the fucking money that they wanted and more. They're probably like, "Wow, we weren't even expecting this shit. We weren't expecting this." So she wants their endorsement before the next election. So therefore, she is not going to go against anything that they want. But the problem is we reached a breaking point, right? We're in sort of like a financial death spiral in the city where we give so much money to our budget to the LAPD that we're neglecting all other services. We saw it with with the wildfires. We saw what happens when we're defunding our city to overfund the police department. I talk about it all the time, walking around my neighborhood, and the sidewalks are deteriorating. On the corner of Sunset La Brea, like I said, the curb is broken right there, and a palm tree is growing out of the broken curb on the corner of Sunset La Brea. How crazy is that? You know how long it has to be in disrepair to lead to that point? I don't even know how the fuck that happened. That to me is sort of like an LA miracle right there. Maybe we should just keep it. Fuck it, it's part of the community now. But no, things are out of control. The homelessness crisis in my neighborhood is exploding by the day. By the day. But here's the thing. We're going to end up cutting way back on these services because, again, with the budgets coming up, we're going to have that crunch. We're going to have to do massive, like, austerity type cuts, and that's going to hit the homelessness budget. And I got to tell you, the thing is, that budget has been such a fucking scam. LASA is a scam. It's a slush fund. It's ridiculous. But the money we spend is so inefficient. Here, let's pull this up. Let's pull this up real quick. While I'm ranting, it's better you guys listen to me rant about this than somebody else. People around me, they're probably like, oh man, I'm so tired of hearing about this budget. Well, too bad. Let me see here. They'd be like, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order? Yeah, well, listen, the budget is out of whack. The police get 50% of our discretionary budget. They're probably so tired of hearing that shit. Dashboard, where's that? All right. While we're here, let's pull up the Inside Safe dashboard. Another good piece of work by Kenneth Mejia. He's the only one worth a damn right now, I swear to God. So in Inside Safe, all right, so they say we have individuals served, 3,896. That means people who have gone into the Inside Safe program, right? We have spent $367 million on Inside Safe. And of that 300, remember, 3,800 have gone into the program. $367 million on the program, and people who are permanently housed, 878. 878. We spent all that money and we have permanently housed 878. There's 45,000 homeless people on the street, and of them, we have housed 878. Now that doesn't take into account the new people who are on the street. So for all we know, I don't believe LASA's numbers. They said, last year it came down a little bit. I mean, that's what you guys say. I don't think these are the same people who just got tore apart by the federal judge saying over the fact that they don't keep accurate data. So why the fuck would I listen to them on that? I mean, they were torn to pieces. The head of LASA needs to go. That's Karen Bass's BFF who employed her Karen Bass's daughter when she ran St. Joseph's. It's all sleazy. It's all sleazy. So like I said, $367 million. We have permanently housed 878 people. Now they're saying there's 1,500 people in interim housing, which I mean in homeless in shelters, in tiny homes, in congregate housing, whatever. And then of the 3,896 people who had gone into the program, 1,400 went back on the street. So 878 permanently housed, 1,400 went back to the street. That's not a very successful program. I gotta tell you, it to cost us $367 million. $367 million, guys. None of that makes sense to me. None of it makes sense to me. And the ones that are in housing, 349 are on subsidies, 227 are in permanent supportive housing, 22 people were reunified, so maybe they went back with family. 252 of them exited to subsidized housing. 23 went to unsubsidized housing. of the people who are in interim housing at the moment, 1,000 are in hotel rooms. So we're paying $110 per night, 3,000 to 4,000 per month per person in hotel rooms, plus also the costs of, having a, the overhead involved as far as eating, counseling, case managers, things like that. We bought the Mayfair Hotel. So Mayfair Hotel, we have 290 people in Mayfair Hotel. So we bought the Mayfair Hotel, I believe, for like $50 million. Then we spent like another $50 million like repairing it and shit. So the total cost is $100 million. So we own it outright. We own it. But then we pay a company right now like $4,000 per person in the program just to manage it. Just to manage it. Like we own the fucking facility. We own it. But then we're giving them for this nonprofit, $4,000 per person per month to manage it. Guys, like I said, if you want to get filthy rich, you want to get paid, start yourself a homelessness nonprofit company. You will get fucking paid. Homelessness consulting? Psh, paid. Paid. Yeah. Yep. Charles Patrick said it. I don't know how to pronounce her name. What's this caller? Adams Kellum. She's paid like, I don't know, like $400,000 a year. So when Karen Bass first came into office, she hired her at $10,000 a week to help her build the Inside Safe program. Her background is she ran a homelessness nonprofit. Like I said, that employed Karen Bass's daughter and then put her in charge of LASA, where she gets paid $400,000 a year. And she's completely a fuck up. She was tore apart. LASA was tore apart in that report. LASA doesn't deserve to exist. You ask people, what does LASA do? No one knows. Like, no one knows. They do a homelessness count. You ask people in LASA, and they'd be like, I don't really know. I have my job, but I don't really know what we do, except get like hundreds of millions of dollars. It's outrageous. I can go on with that. But anyway, it's been on an hour. That's gonna be it for tonight. Come back tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be digging into I'm gonna make 4 profiles for the cops that were involved in that scandal of the recruiting scandal where they're saying a bunch of racist ass shit. Make sure I have those together. I want to dig deeper into the LAPD union tomorrow since they're a bunch of fucking liars. They just lied to their members about Ralph Campos getting that money. In fact, they told the delegates when they were asking, hey, is it true that this guy? They said, no, not only is he lying, that he never gets any money. How are you? It's on your Form 990s. They just lie. Hey, LAPD cops, your union treats you like you're stupid. You're going to let them get away with that? They're just stealing from you. They're just enriching themselves. It's not just them. Don't even get me started about McBride. And he's got his own private company, his own private security company. They're doing... He got lawsuits against him because he doesn't pay his people. He's been treating them like slaves. Anyway. All right. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I'll try to be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, more than likely, I will be at the LAPD commission meeting. Wait, what's your opinion on Santa Monica and UCLA PD? So Santa Monica, I don't have much. I haven't had any real interactions with them in any way. UCLA PD, oh man, they're a bunch of assholes. They're just a bunch of cowboys think they can do whatever they want. They they tried to arrest me about a year ago, almost a year ago, during the protests because I didn't do anything except for film them making arrests, and somehow I had to get arrested. They claimed that I was interfering with their investigation by filming at a distance, which is outrageous. Oh, Charles Patrick said, heard Karen Bass and the police chief lying about MacArthur Park cleanup today. Oh, Karen Bass, man. Karen Bass. She had a little photo op. You know, why are you doing your photo op about MacArthur Park when you have this huge ass scandal going on right now? And that's the reason why she did that, because she didn't want to talk about that huge ass scandal that's going on. Yeah. Wait, what did it say? Everyone getting paid and double dipping. Well, man, don't even get me started, because then you have another program called a drop program where they do a little bit of double dipping, where cops getting paid a bunch of money just to defer retirement and get a shit ton more money. It's outrageous. It's a scam that nobody wants to crack down on, but we just allow it. We just allow it. Anyway. All right, guys, that's going to be enough for tonight. I'll see you in some way tomorrow. Shout out to the mods. Take care.